Good afternoon. We're really excited to be here with you today. My name is Michelle.
I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Laura.
Jason.
And I'm Alex.
And we're the team behind Digital Cactus Agency. And we're really excited to present to you our Chick-fil-A advertising campaign for 2018. But before we begin, we wanted to ask you a question. So as excited as we all are to be here today, we would rather be nowhere else. If you had to choose, what would you rather be doing right now? So I'll give you a minute to think about it. I'll go first. If I could be doing something else right now, I would rather be at the movies eating popcorn. How about you, Jessica?
I'd probably rather be at home watching Netflix, Mad Men, especially right now. Yeah.
And I'd be at home sleeping to catch up after all of my finals.
What about any of you?
Beachside.
Yeah, exactly.
Good one.
Yeah.
Any other?
Maybe 16 miles from here.
16 miles.
16 miles?
Is that where you work?
15,000 miles.
Oh, okay.
And I will be outside, maybe traveling or something.
That's great. So all these are great answers, but you know what I noticed nobody said? No one said they'd rather be at the grocery store. Does anyone want to change their answer now that this is on the table? No? We're still good? Okay. So why? Why does no one want to be at the grocery store right now?
Busy.
So long lines.
I was there an hour ago.
Was it a blast?
What?
Was it a blast?
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's the first time I've heard that response.
Well, I was in Costco and I was eating all the...
That's why.
Oh,
no. Valid.
So, you guys answered all the questions. So we're all so busy, right? We all have a lot of things we're balancing. We have school, we have work, relationships, hobbies, you name it, we're doing it all. And being at the grocery store is the last thing we want to be doing when we're busy and also on our free time. And millennials, we definitely identify with this sentiment. So now Jasmine's going to tell you a little bit about
as you can see at the bottom of the screen, there's a page number, so whenever you want to just keep track of where we're at. So let's start talking about Chick-fil-A. Who are they? So it was established in 1946 and they're based out of College Park, Georgia, and we all know them for the most amazing chicken ever and of course the creation of the original chicken sandwich. We also know that they're a family-owned business and they operate in 47 states across the US, and they have the core mission, which is something that we all love, is quality food and outstanding customer service.
All right, so when we were tasked to find any gaps or problems with the Chick-fil-A company, we came across the information that Chick-fil-A recently launched a mealtime kit in the Atlanta area, which was very, very successful. And we'll talk about mealtime kits in a little bit. And so that confused us because when we looked into the subscription services like HelloFresh, Blue Apron, it's actually a waning market. But then when we looked further, we found that in-store meal kit sales have actually grown substantially over the past year, exactly 26.5%, and it's a $154.6 million market. So with all that in mind, we asked ourselves, how might we introduce Chick-fil-A mealtime kits throughout the United States?
So just a little bit of clarification what a mealtime kit is. It's basically pre-portioned ingredients for a recipe, all boxed up and ready to go. So it's the same quality Chick-fil-A chicken that we all know and love. And it's prepped for you, and you can take the thought out of cooking. All the recipes are pre-planned, and they have very wide range of recipes, anything from chicken enchiladas to Parmesan chicken, Dijon chicken, lots of great options for you. And it's just a convenient meal kit for people on the go. And then that brought us to the consumer, and we decided to target millennials. What do we know about millennials? We know that they're super busy, they're scraped for time. We know that they're trying to live somewhat balanced lives between work, family, schools, hobbies. And we know that they also are wanting quick and healthy food options. So, yes. And we also know that they're very brand loyal. So that you know that millennials love Chick-fil-A and that they are gonna stay with us. So, this leads us to the millennial breakdown, which I thought was really interesting because when we did more research looking into millennials themselves, they're actually one of the most diverse generations in US history. And I think, personally, I think it comes from all the wide age range that they're in. So it's anyone between 18 and 35, depending on what studies you're looking at. And so that goes from college students to parents to entry-level positions, all the way to the elder/cusper millennials that are kind of in between generation millennials and the generation beforehand.
So this led us to our research. We conducted one-on-one interviews as well as online surveys through social media, and we found that those that responded were 52% likely or very likely to try Chick-fil-A meal kits, with 23% responding that they were neutral, meaning, they might try them, they might not, they're in the middle. And some factors that would contribute to our decisions were 1, that it's from Chick-fil-A, again, demonstrating that brand loyalty. 2, the expected quality of the ingredients because it's coming from Chick-fil-A. And 3, the convenience of a meal kit and not having to subscribe to a service. Some other factors that they responded were in-store pickup. So they like the convenience of, maybe buying your fast food meal, but also being able to pick up your meal kit with that same purchase. And home delivery, which Chick-fil-A recently announced they would be doing home delivery to homes within 10 miles of their restaurants, participating restaurants. And the last 2 reasons, which go hand in hand, were no commitment required through the lack of a subscription. So Chick-fil-A meal kits, you can just stop by the store and pick it up anytime you want. You can mix it up with the different recipes, and you don't have to worry about anything else. And so, by introducing the mealtime kit, Chick-fil-A is now entering 2 different competitive landscapes. The first one, which they're already a part of, is the fast food. Some of their top competitors are Chipotle, Jack in the Box, and Church's Chicken, with Chipotle being their top competitor, earning only 51% of Chick-fil-A's total annual revenue. And the second competitive landscape would be the meal kits. So as my partner mentioned earlier, we found that meal kits competitive landscape is changing a little bit with a decline in online meal kit sales, but an increase of in-store meal kits. So this led us to a conclusion that we face no direct competition because Chick-fil-A's meal kit is very unique in the sense that you don't have to subscribe to it. You can just pick it up anytime you want.
This led us to our creative, which we came up with the concept of life. And life is the personification of all of the terrible things that we hate about grocery stores. So we know that she showed up, or he, because it's an alternate you. He or she has shown up when she's wearing the fluffy cow-spotted coat, the big red sunglasses, and she's just loud, obnoxious, mischievous, and just getting in your way in any way that she possibly can. So this brought us to our video concept.
Okay, so to break down the video, when we were developing the character of Life, we developed a script to kind of help us shape her, which eventually turned into our video spots. And one of our favorite segments that we developed was we have our protagonist named Jennifer at the grocery store, and she's standing in front of an employee who's standing next to our character of Life with her big coat, and she asks the employee, where do you have the sugar in the store? And Life taps the employee on the shoulder and says, tell her we don't sell that here. So the employee responds, we don't sell that here. And then Jennifer asks, you don't sell sugar here? And then Life taps the employee again and says, ooh, tell her we do, but only in this size. And she pulls up a very, very large sack of sugar. So we came up with that concept to kind of illustrate 2 separate things. One, sometimes when you go to the grocery store, you can't find what you want in the right size. I know I've gone and I need 1 onion and I leave with a 5-pound bag of onions because they don't have any available. And also that store employees can be unpleasant at times. And so now Lara's going to break down the video concept.
So the video will be a central part of the campaign. It will be 3 minutes long and will be featured in Chick-fil-A's YouTube channel. This video will be produced in such a way that can be split up into different spots of lengths of like 1 minute, 30 seconds, or 15 seconds, featuring different scenarios, of Jennifer and Life at the grocery store. So within this video, you will find Life, as my partner mentioned, getting in the way and just making the whole experience unpleasant and highlighting how unpleasant it can be. We've all gone through those different experiences at the grocery store, and it's a very universal feeling of like, oh, you can't find parking because it's Thanksgiving, you forgot to buy, all of your ingredients, and you're there last minute. And the video spots will be used in social media on sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Snapchat. They will also be featured on different television shows that are very common in millennials, such as This Is Us, The Walking Dead, The Big Bang Theory, and Sunday and Thursday Night Football.
Okay, so our rationale behind video is what we know is that millennials prefer more genuine forms of expression. So we know that even though our character of life is a very over-the-top expressive character, she's kind of showing what we all feel on the inside but can't really express. We also know millennials seek empathy for their lifestyle, so that will be seen through Jennifer and her struggling and us seeing her and saying, that's me, I hate going to the grocery store. And then we also know 76% of millennials report following companies on YouTube, which is pretty big. And what we know is that it's the third most used social media outlet for millennials, with over 50% checking it daily. So that is obviously a no-brainer for us. And that 60% prefer watching video rather than reading newsletters. None of us are surprised. That makes sense.
And so we all know that social media is a central part of a millennial's life, and as such will be a big part of our campaign. We will be using advertising on social media sites, as I mentioned before, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, through the form of memes. So memes are a very easy way to interact with our consumers and still relate to them on a more personal level. These memes will these memes will feature just different scenarios with popular memes that are already available. We will also be using them alongside the video ad spots and different hashtags such as #BadGroceryExperience, where each customer can share their own experience. You know, we all have those stories. Life will also be taking over Chick-fil-A's Twitter account and just showing off her sassy personality.
Okay, so our rationale behind our social media is we know that 84% of millennials follow their favorite brands on Facebook, 40% follow companies on Instagram, and 50% follow brands on Twitter. But what we found very interesting was memes. So in our research, we found that one of the strongest links that digitally bonds the millennial generation is memes. And why is that? Because it encourages solidarity. We were talking about it as a team, we're all millennials, and we were talking about what are our favorite memes to share, and a lot of them are things that we all identify with and we know somebody else is going to laugh at because it's a relatable situation. So it kind of bonds us digitally. And then another interesting thing we found is the three main types of humor that millennials share, which is absurdity, universality, and self-deprecation. And we see that in all of the memes, especially in our Light character. She's a very absurd, over-the-top character. Universally, we all hate grocery stores. And self-deprecating, we see it in Jennifer every time she goes and she's like, why did I come to the grocery store? I hate it so much. And we also know that memes are highly shared, they spread quickly. So this is an option for us that makes sense because the work will be done for us.
And as we have mentioned before, millennials are very big on brand loyalty. So we will be using some of Chick-fil-A's established media for our advertising. We will be using in-store table tents, counter signage, and drive-through signage in the form of different banners featuring life to advertise the new product release. In-store, we will also have employees offering the option to buy a meal kit with every purchase so that customers are reminded of the option available to them. Chick-fil-A's app is one of the top 3 most downloaded fast food apps. So we will also be using different notifications, also informing all of our loyal customers of this new product. The banners will all link to the 3-minute video, giving each customer the option to learn about the campaign and of our product. We will also be introducing a brand new app game on the Chick-fil-A app, where customers will have to swipe left or right to avoid different obstacles at the grocery store, while also having to collect all of the ingredients to build their meal kit. And lastly, we will be using Chick-fil-A's email subscriptions. So each customer that is subscribed to the email service will receive a notification of the new product release.
And our rationale behind the app was that it has already over 24 million downloads. So that's 24 million people that already have it and get a little notification being told that there's a new product at Chick-fil-A. And then we also know that millennials themselves have the highest rate of smartphone usage, 89% of which own smartphones. And a lot of the times millennials see their phone as an extension of themselves. I know I can't leave my house without my phone. It feels weird without it. And then the in-store advertising would basically just bringing awareness to those people that are already in Chick-fil-A, that already love it, obviously, or else they wouldn't be there. And telling them that we have this new product that they should try.
While millennials do spend a lot of time on their phones, we also found that they spend on average 8 or more hours away from home. So through this, we found that it would be a good idea to advertise the product release through billboards. We'll be doing a teaser billboard featuring life with a question next to it. What is life taking away from you? This teaser billboard will give just enough attention to what we're selling, but not enough where people have to search it online or on Google, and find out the new product for Chick-fil-A. We'll also be doing interactive games at bus stops where customers can go up and play while they're waiting for their bus or train. And at the end, there will be a leaderboard giving the players the option to win a meal kit if they're in the top scorers.
So our rationale for out-of-home advertising is that it encourages interaction, especially among smartphone usage. It brings a 140% uplift in smartphone usage once someone sees something outside of the home. Like Laura had mentioned, with the teaser billboard, they see that billboard and they're gonna be like, what is Chick-fil-A doing exactly? Leading to them going on their phones, trying to find out. And then, yes, it also creates brand interactions, so then they'll find out about the app, or not about the app, sorry, about the campaign, and then hopefully download the app if they don't already have it, if not, access the app from there.
And so that leads us to the final part of our campaign, which is internet radio. The internet radio spots will be featured on Spotify and Pandora, and will have live going through a comedic, not so leisure stroll through the grocery store. And here you will be brought back to her sassy personality. She's emphasizing how unpleasant it is. This ad will also tie the whole campaign together by demonstrating again, that at the end of the day, you can always take life back and give yourself time to dedicate to what matters most or to what you didn't know was missing.
Okay, so our rationale behind internet radio is we know millennials love music. 59% of millennials tune into digital radio on a regular basis, and they spend 4 hours a day listening to music over a connected device. But what we found most interesting was that 89% prefer ad-supported radio over subscription radio, which kind of connects back to our original premise, which is millennials don't want to be tied down to subscriptions, they want to be free to make choices when they want to, and we have them there to listen to our ad. So our objective is to engage listeners during their evening commute. So on their way home, they hear our spot when they're listening to music, and they're like, why don't I just drive by Chick-fil-A and pick up a meal kit and skip the grocery store today? And so as far as our media rationale, our objective is to reach 70% of the US millennial population, ages 18 to 35. It's going to be a 3-month campaign starting January of 2019 and ending in March. And we will be using an $18 million budget. And so through all the digital platforms we talked about, our objective is to create product loyalty, engagements, and conversations for the meal kits. And as far as measuring goes for the success of the campaign, it'll be evaluated through social media responses. We're going to be monitoring clicks and shares. We're also going to host focus groups where we're going to gauge customer feedback to our character of life, our entire campaign, as well as face-to-face surveys leading to an evaluation of our qualitative data, and ultimately meal kit sales, being that this is a new product that's going to be launched at the time of the campaign.